So we are the Bristell agents and importers for Bristell BRM aircraft from the Czech Republic. This is the third aircraft that we've brought into South Africa, and this is our latest demo model, which we are now showing at the Aero Expo in Johannesburg this year. I'd like to just give you a quick walk around and tell you what's different and what's amazing about this aircraft, and then you've got some information to do comparison what else is in the market. I want to spend a lot of emphasis on the finish of this aircraft. Because it comes out of Europe, they've got an incredible attention to detail work ethic there, and that's what caught our eye when we wanted to buy an aircraft. We flew out there to look at them, and this is why we decided to bring these in. So, you know, just from the rivets on the wings, the way these wing lockers fit, the way they open, even the fuel filler, the way the fuel filler fits, the landing lights, is just amazing. You can spec it in many different configurations. They've got 5 different models. This is the baby model. It's the Light Sport 600 kilograms. It's fitted with a 912 IS Rotax motor. But of course you can have the 915. You can also have the latest 916, which turns this little yellow canary into like a little jet, especially down at the coast. So we fitted it with a MT constant speed propeller, which on this particular model is what they call a single lever. You don't have to adjust the pitch for takeoff, for the cruise or the climb. It does it automatically for you, which is a great, less work for the pilot, and you can concentrate on other stuff. Again, just to have a show here, look how the cowling fits. For a quick oil check, simple push of a button and you can get to check your oil. You don't need to take the entire cowl off. But again, it's the way that fits, which is very unique. The actual nose wheel, the cowling over the nose wheel, it's a dual cable, so it's not, you don't turn by brake, you actually turn it with the rudder pedals, and it's fitted with Behringer wheels and Behringer brakes. Comes with a parachute. It's an optional extra which we suggest you take. It's a huge debate when you're going to actually use it. But it's there, and it's nice to know it's there. It's like a life raft in a yacht. It's nice to know it's there. So that we have this fitted as standard if you do order one. Obviously you've got your strobe lights and your navigation lights. Take a picture down the wing, you can just see how well that wing has been built. And remember, this is super thin aluminum sheeting. It's got a 3 setting flap, 10, 20 and 30 degrees. Ailerons, we've got aileron trim on the left wing, which is also a nice feature, and of course the plane has got autopilot, but we'll speak about that when we're inside. Must be said, the aircraft is very pretty. We have a lot of people just looking and say, wow, it's pretty, even people that don't know aircraft. So it's got a very pretty line to it. The paint is also amazing. You've got about 20 different paint options that you can choose from. So you basically build the plane exactly like you want it, and the factory does it. We chose the yellow because it stands out, and it's huge elevator trim, very responsive. I'm going to tell you something inside the plane, but just regarding this setup when you are actually in straight and level flight, how stable the aircraft is. Again, the rudder is composite, and if you look underneath here, it's actually got a little tail wheel on it. If you had to get too ambitious on the takeoff and pick up the nose too much, it's got that little protector. It's more for the flight schools. Pretty much standard. Of course, you've got your ELT antenna, and then you've got your VHF radio antenna. Wing locker from this side, if you'd like to just have a look here. So you can put 20 kilos in each side, and it comes with a bag. And the thinking is if it fits in the bag, it fits in the wing locker. So that's also nice. Because it's a light sport, it's very weight sensitive. So you really got to watch your weighting, and you also got to watch your center of gravity. So typically we put our weekend clothing in the wings and a little bag behind the seats. Right, so now we're inside this amazing aircraft, and you can see the space here is pretty good. I'm not the shortest guy in the world, and you can see my leg room is great. I'm comfortable with these sort of sports car Ferrari seats in it. And then again, allow me just to go to the quality, the stitching, the leather on the dashboard. And something very unique about this dashboard is I spec'd this exact layout of how I wanted it. And it's not just a panel that's been cut a hole out and fitted, it's recessed. So this was molded specially for my aircraft, because this panel here, the second G3X, normally sits here, and they put these gauges that side, but I wanted it symmetrical. I didn't want it off center, so everything was molded No extra cost, no extra moaning or groaning. They just did it for us. So this is a bit of an overkill to have two G3Xs, but it looks pretty cool. So we went with that. We've put the Canadian analogs in, but they're electronic analogs. So again, it's just a nice redundancy to have. This is the parachute handle. So obviously you flip that out and it's ready to be deployed. And as I said earlier, that's something we don't ever want to do, but it's nice to know it's there. Obviously fitted with autopilot, 2-axle autopilot. There's your flap switches, your fuel selector here. And then when I was talking about the propeller in front, you typically have an extra lever here where you would set your prop to fine or coarse depending on the flight mode you're in. This does it automatically. It's called the RS flight system. It's a very expensive little add-on which we've done on the demo model, but we wouldn't suggest you use it on all the models because of the price. But what's going to happen is as I throttle up, this is going to adjust the pitch automatically for me for takeoff. As I take off the power and I go into the climb, it's going to set it, and then on the cruise it's going to set it for me. I don't even need to worry about it. I just watch my RPMs, and this is going to take care of my manifold pressure as well, which typically you would set on the prop and on your RPM. Autopilot, obviously once it's trimmed up and I can pull the control pedals back towards me if my legs were shorter, and in my case I push them forward and it sets it in there. It also has a park brake, which is quite standard on most of these light sports. So who would we typically want to sell this aeroplane to? These light sports are huge in America and in Europe and even in Australia, and they're also starting to gain momentum here in South Africa. It has got a bit of a premium price to it because it's imported. It is built in Europe, and obviously the costs are a bit higher there. But it certainly has got that quality finish feel which we expect from a European product. There is a market for them. This is a 4.5 million rand aircraft plus VAT. You can downscale it and you can pretty much have this for about 2.5 million rand with not too much of this going on and not as many fancy paint colors on the outside. So at 2.2, 2.5, I think there's definitely a market for it in South Africa. We're going to try. BRM Aero, who are the builders of this in the Czech Republic. It's a family business. They've just built their 1,000th aircraft, and they will also be displaying their high wing model at the Oshkosh show this year, which is in July in America. They've got a tail dragger, they've got a retractable, they've got a flush wing rivet, which gives you a bit more speed apparently. They've got a turbine model, and then they've also got an electric model. So they're pretty advanced with the technology, which is in Europe. And yeah, it's a great company. It's solid. And we're looking at putting a few of these into flight schools in South Africa. We've had interest from a few of the big ones. And we hope to put a really sort of slimmed down version of this and let the students train in them. We're interested to see if they can break them, because that's generally what happens. And we'll be giving the backup from the factory should they need spares or whatever goes wrong with these in the flight schools. We're based in Plettenberg Bay. We've set up a facility there where the aircraft arrive, they get assembled. The assembly is very simple. It's just the wings and the tailplane because it comes as a ready-to-fly. CAA approved it last year. We flew them out to the factory for approval, and all 5 models plus the certified model have been approved and accepted. So you can comfortably buy it without too much red tape going on when it arrives here with our aviation authority. It's basically an ATF. 3 in the country, all 3 in Plet, funnily enough. First one we brought in, we had it there. I sold it like poof when they saw it. Second one as well. The demo we've now kept back. We don't want to let her go because we want to show her off. And we've got a new 916 that we want to order now in this configuration as our new demo, maybe with a retractable, just to show that off a bit. It's an early start, but it's a new aeroplane to South Africa. But it's been around for 15 years. Once you've delivered the product, you need to back it up for at least 2 years. So these come with a 2-year warranty, and the factory will have to come to the party through the dealerships. We've spoken to other dealers in America and also in Australia, and they just say it's amazing. We've had a taste of it. We have ordered some spares for this aircraft, aftermarket, and also for the other 2 that are here, we ordered some spares, and literally within 10 days, we had them in our hands from the Czech Republic with DHL. They are on the phone, WhatsApp, because they are sitting on the other side of the planet, literally. And that always becomes a question and a concern when you're buying a product from far away. What will happen if it breaks? Because it may break. Coming out of yachting for 20 years, you've got to back up your product, otherwise you don't even stop. There's an old saying, if it looks good, it flies good.